Hey everybody, in today's lesson we're going to be learning how to read music. We're going to start by learning the musical alphabets and then the staff lines and all the notes there is, all right, and its values. So that's what we're going to learn, and so let's get into the lesson. Music is written on 5 lines called the staff lines. I'm sure most of us would have come across signs like these and sometimes wondered what these signs meant. You know something? Each of these notes have a musical meaning. And today we're gonna unlock these meanings. Now, without further ado, let's move on. Every note that you see carries 2 important values. One is the note value and the other is the time value. So, did you know that just by knowing these 2 important values, we're able to read music accurately? Knowing that fact, now let's dive into learning what a note value is. Note value talks about the pitch of the note. It tells us either the pitch is high or low. This aspect of knowing if the pitch is low or high is known by the position of the note. You have to just look into where the note is placed. Either the note is placed lower or higher. If the note is placed higher, then obviously the pitch is going to be high. And if the note is placed lower on the staff lines, the note is also going to be low in terms of its pitch. And now here's a sample of how these note values are placed on the staff lines. Okay, let's get into the time value. Now, how do we know what the time value is? If you see a note which looks like a circle, it gets 4 counts. And if you see a note which looks like a circle with a stem, it gets 2 counts. And if you see a note which looks like a circle with a stem colored inside, it gets 1 count. Now when I say 4 counts, what I mean is the sound lasts for 4 counts, just like this. 1, 2, 3, 4. And when I say 2 counts, the sound lasts for 2 counts, just like this. 1, 2. And when I say 1 count, the sound lasts for 1 count, just like this. 1. So that's about the time value. Hey everybody, now that we've learned how to read music, what are the values of each of the beats, now we're going to learn what we call as a grand staff. A grand staff is basically the left hand and the right hand notes seen together, right? So if you've seen the 5-line notes, you have 5 lines for the left hand and 5 lines for the right hand. Right? So when we bring those together and sing all of the notes together at one point, and that's called the grand staff. So I'm going to also give you the easiest way to remember the grand staff. Each of the line notes and the space note on the 5 lines of the right hand and 5 lines of the left hand. There's the easiest way to remember. Sometimes it could be overwhelming for us to remember all of the notes, right? And that is why we have this easier way to remember all of these notes. So let's get right into the lesson. In this section, I'm going to teach you the easiest way to remember the musical notes. We will use an acronym to easily remember the notes on the treble clef and the bass clef. Let's take the treble clef first. The notes on the line are E, G, B, D, F. Remember, we are counting the line from bottom up. So it has to be E, G, B, D, F. So easiest acronym for that would be every good body does fine. And the space notes are FACE. Now for FACE, we do not need an acronym because it's just the word face, right? And then comes the left hand, that is the bass clef. The line notes are G, B, D, F, A. And the acronym we can use for that is good boys do fine always. Good boys do fine always. And then the space notes are all cows eat grass. Look at that. That makes it so simple for all of us to remember the line notes and the space notes for the treble clef and the bass clef. So if you can try to remember, if you can practice writing this up practice memorizing this, you can easily recall the notes that you want when you look at a sheet music. Let's start with the treble clef. The first note is obvious, it's the middle C, and the next is the middle C. Now the third note is where it differs, right? So that's on the second line. Let's look at what is the acronym for the second line. So it's every good, okay, so it's G. So the third note is G, and then the fourth note is again G. Let's go to the next bar in the next. Now look at the bar line. Remember the bar line? The first note in the second bar is on the second space. So that is going to be F, A. So that's going to be the A note. And the next note is again A. The next note is on the second line. The second line is every good. So it has to be G. So that way you would apply for every note. Okay, so there is no foreign note that you would see. Please know that the pitch names come from the position they have. It's not about how they look. Some notes look like a circle, some look like a circle with a stem, some look like a circle with a stem colored inside. However they look, the point is where they are located is what gives their name. Now let's move on to the bass clef. The first note on the bass clef is located on the second space. So the bass clef space notes are all cows eat grass. So it has to be all cows. Cows is in the second space. So that's going to be a C. And then the second note in the bass clef is on the third space. That is going to be all cows eat. So it has to be E. And the second, we move on to the next bar. The second bar, the first note is on the fourth line. So that goes to be good boys do fine. It has to be F. And then the next note is on the third space. The third space is all cows eat. So it has to be a E. And that same principle is used for any note on the sheet music. Dear friends, I want to congratulate you to come till this point in the lesson. Dear friends, you have empowered yourself by understanding this. You know what? The next time you look at sheet music, you're not going to blink. You're going to know just exactly what notes there are. As an assignment, I'm going to give you a sheet music, which I want you to transcribe and find out what notes they are. And I want you to try playing the song. So just find the notes. Write the notes. If you can get a printout, just get a printout and write the notes above it and start playing the song. I hope today's lesson was helpful. Go ahead and click the link below where I'm going to leave you a free download which is going to help you learn to read music faster. So I have a couple of songs there so you could go ahead and try it out. Try your hands on it. Okay? Cheers. God bless.